Alright, so I know I said I was gonna improvise from now on, but I started making notes starting the last time I did the vlog, and I just really want to talk about all these points that I made. So I'll talk about that, all of them, hopefully all of them, in this video. And one thing is, I forgot to mention, but for the unscripted video I made a few days ago, turns out when I woke up, I realized I forgot to post the video when I actually made it. And so I went on YouTube. And when I was on YouTube, I saw Jeff Nippard posted a survey of muscularity for men. He interviewed a bunch of people, both men, males and females, seeing whether they'd prefer a partner for females, whether they'd prefer a partner more or how muscular they'd prefer their partner and how much fat and how skinny. It was very comprehensive. It was a diagram with a chart that went most muscular to least muscular with at least a row of, I would say 10, maybe more, and then columns of fat to less fat or fat to skinny. And I would say again a column of around 10. So there were at least 100 pictures. I would say even more. It was very comprehensive, very detailed, well done. Honestly, I think even better than what I would have done. So I just thought it was so funny that I wanted to do this idea and he already had done it and he just posted it right the day after that I was considering doing it, or I was seriously interested in doing it. I think I'll still end up doing my own little survey in my own way, because although he did a great job, there's specific things that I'd like to ask, and being able to be in person and ask that person and get a response, you're able to more discern how strongly that person feels, because somebody might say biceps is the most important part for the muscle for a male, but it really depends how they say it. They could say biceps, maybe chest, no biceps, or they could say definitely biceps. So from that you can kind of gauge the most popular answer, and the second most popular answer, honorable mentions, third place, just random things like that. And you can also, in those situations, I'm sure those people would add extra detail, something like, well, actually I look more at the eyes than anything else, but if we were strictly talking about muscle, then this. Regardless, I think it'd be a lot of fun to do. So I I don't that video that Jeff Nippard posted didn't discourage me in any way. All it probably, if anything, encouraged me. So hopefully once I'm in university, once I'm on campus, I'll be able to do that. Another thing, so I'm pretty sure I haven't talked about this too much. Maybe I mentioned it in my very first video, in my intro, but I wanted to cover why I made this vlog public. So originally I said I don't care about views and they don't matter to me. But I don't think that's entirely true. So I do care about views in a way. I'd how do I put this? I don't care about views in for selfish reasons. I want to provide with this vlog, my two goals are to provide value to other people, but to also voice my opinion. Just it's also a personal thing. Just to do it. So whether it was public or private, I think I'd still release these videos. Now, the reason I make it public, I think honestly, I don't think I can fully answer it because part of it is subconscious where I can't I can't really know, but it, honestly, part of it might just be that I want to become more famous and I just don't want to admit that. But yeah, okay. Honestly, maybe that's a little part of it, but I'd say a bigger part is I just want to provide value and help other people and foster a community because what I find is with YouTubers or people who have public influence, they're able to be recognized on the street and whoever recognizes them is immediately considered a friend because like any one of their fans are considered friends because they're so like-minded. They're already in that same niche. They're in a niche, they're in enough of a niche that they willingly go out of their way to view this what this person does to try to entertain other people, what the influencer does. So, yeah, I guess what I want to do is if I get a following, I think what I'll do is I'll end up making a group of some sort and I honestly have no idea because that'd be a lot of things to manage. I'll have to think about it more. I yeah, I'm not too sure why I'm posting this publicly. Like why would I want to be vulnerable online? Is the question. Hard to say. I guess I'll find out at some point. Yeah, one thing that I don't want it to be is trying to get attention. So I guess that's pretty similar to wanting fame, but I really don't want it to be that I want attention. So this was a while back. Someone on Instagram, I was checking stories on Instagram. Someone I followed posted this video about them on. I feel like I should make it really vague that way. There's no way they know. So they did something. They performed an action. We'll say, damn. We'll say they juggled a soccer ball. So they filmed themselves juggling a soccer ball, and then and not well at that. Like you could tell they were not very good, and they posted that to TikTok, and then they posted that TikTok to their story on Instagram. And I was thinking, like, why would you do that? I understand, like, man, I should stop saying like the problem that I have with it is it's very obvious that person wants attention. That person wants to gain traction, wants to be, just wants attention. And I guess that's okay, but just, oh man, maybe I'm hurting myself here because I guess I'm speaking to myself. Just because you're mediocre at something and you posted it online, like you don't, that doesn't mean you deserve attention. And the thing is, okay, I think this is the difference with me and this person. Maybe I am subconsciously seeking attention. Maybe that's true. I don't want to believe that's true, but I could suppose it. But regardless, hmm, regardless of whether I post this publicly, I will be doing this. Oh man, no, you could say that for that person too. There was another point that I had where it was more like, oh man, I can't think of it. I just lost it. Okay, let me just pause it for a second. Okay, so I remember what I was gonna bring up. I also changed the camera just because I think this looks a bit better frame rate. This person is posting it and advertising it. I am posting it and definitely not advertising it. I'm keeping it pretty hidden. I've never posted this vlog series on my Instagram story, nor do I think I will ever, just because it's interesting because I find it feels very personal to me, but I'm okay with random people knowing this information, knowing me so well, but people that know me so well or have talked to me, people who have met me, I don't want them to know me this well. It's counterintuitive, but to me it makes sense. I think here's another way to put it. You can't be uh it's hard to be embarrassed in front of people that you will never talk to again, or that you don't know and you won't ever talk to again. So I'm thinking in a public setting where you do a public speech. Oh man, no, you could get embarrassed there. Yeah, my point doesn't even work there. I think more, it just feels more secure. Even though it's not, even though this is burnable, like it's literally recorded and you can review it thousands of times and you can send it to anybody. It feels less, less public just because I'm not advertising it. And maybe that's just how I am, that I don't necessarily want people to know. Oh man. I'm screwing up this point so much because this blog is the complete opposite of what I'm saying. That I don't want them to know, I don't want people to know me so well. Oh well, I guess I'm a complicated person. I can say that. Yeah. I think attention, everyone wants to be heard. Like that's held closely to everyone. That's why in mental health counseling, you could honestly be a great what's the word? Psychologist, psychiatrist, by just listening to someone, not even suggesting anything, just listening, because people just want to talk. They want to feel heard. And I was watching this YouTube video too about how to be more charismatic. And a big part of it is just letting people talk, making sure they feel heard. And there's different ways to do it, different cues you can do where you ask them more questions and you listen intently, make eye contact. It ends up being pretty simple, but you genuinely have to be, in order for it to work well, you genuinely have to be interested. So being charismatic is highly tied to just being really interested in what people have to say, and naturally they'll want to hang around you because you're the only person who's that interested in them. I also, so this idea isn't new. It's also in Dave Carnegie's book that's called How to Win Friends and Influence People. I believe that's the title of the book. And in that, he mentions a bunch of different tips. I haven't finished it yet, but I intend to. Where and a massive part is just listening to people, as the YouTube video mentioned as well. So it's not new. It's been around for a while, and it's surprisingly it's not common knowledge. I would say more people are learning about this, which is good. We need to be heard more rather than people just spewing garbage. Like me, like I am doing in this podcast, exactly how I'm doing in this podcast. No, no, no. I'm just bashing this vlog. This podcast. I meant this vlog. No, this is so ironic. Mm. Yeah, there's a lot